Okay, what's up YouTube viewers? Welcome back to Razor Sharp UK. If this is your first time viewing one of my videos, thanks for coming, and if you're back again, much love. Okay, so we've got another Technology Tuesday, and for this week's Technology Tuesday I thought, let me give you a bit of an insight into what I carry with me as I do private appointments. Different people have different setups of the tools that they take with them, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to let you have a little insight and a look at my setup when I go out to private appointments. So going to open up my barber case, show you what's inside, and after, if you want, you can leave comments, you can like, and maybe we can have a bit of discussion about what you carry when you go out on private appointments. But I hope you find this video useful, and if you do, please click that subscribe button. So let's go. Okay guys, so I'm going to give you a bit of an insight into what I carry in my war chest when I go out to private appointments. So I'm just going to go through this just in one take, so if I stutter a little bit, don't watch that. Okay, for me the key thing is in my case, I want to have diversity. Also, make sure you have a case that protects your equipment well. So you can get one of these flight cases in the UK for about £35–40. Right, so first thing, I try to keep my case quite neat when I'm going out. That's just my personal preference, but I always carry with me a hand towel. You can just get this from any shop that sells any kind of bathroom supplies. But I get a good size hand towel. Reason being is this becomes the foundation of my barber station when I'm going out to a client's location. Excuse me, a client's location, whether it be at their office or at their home. Sorry, I've got a bit of a bad voice, so do excuse it. Yeah, so yeah, you want a good sized bath towel. As you can see, I've folded this hand towel over, and then I can just lay that flat on the surface, and then all of my equipment will then go on this hand towel. I don't put any equipment directly onto the surfaces in the client's environment, just because sanitation issues, you don't know what's been on those surfaces, whereas if you have a clean hand towel, you're good to go. So always have that with me. And then gonna need a mirror, obviously, so you can show the client the haircut that you've given them, make sure that they're happy with everything as well. So that's pretty straightforward. Now, another thing that I always carry with me is these. You cannot have enough of these. These are basically shoe covers. Now, when you're going into a client's environment, you don't just want to bop in there with your trainers and assume that that's okay for them. It's all about keeping the client comfortable in their own environment. So I always carry these shoe covers, and also there's an added benefit to this. When I first started doing mobile appointments, I used to make the mistake of I wasn't carrying any of these shoe covers, so I'd take off my trainers. If the client wanted me not to have trainers on, I'd always ask them. And then when I'm cutting their hair, I'm walking around, and by the time I'm finished, the bottom of my socks are just completely covered in hair. So this eliminates that issue. So I always carry shoe covers with me whenever I go to private appointments, and customers also like the fact that you care about their environment being clean when you're providing the service that you are to them. Okay, so shoe covers, always have them. Then neck stripes, just a given, got to have them. And then carry all my combs. So I've just got this nice little denim comb pouch. So in there I keep a diversity of combs. So got to have your clipper comb, and I always have a black and a white one, depending on what color hair that you're working with. If you're working with dark hair, it's better to have the white one so you can see what you're doing, versus having black against black. It's just going to allow you to have a better view when you're using clipper over comb or scissor over comb. So I always keep those with me. And then just another variety of combs that I can use, from just from a wider tooth comb down to a very fine tooth comb. Depending on what kind of haircut I'm using will determine that. Then I've also got a sectioning comb in there if I'm going to be doing any scissor work, so I can easily section. Just a nice little denim pro comb, so use this for my sectioning. But try to keep a variety of combs with me when I'm going out and about. And the key thing is really diversity. That's been my experience, is that you want to be prepared for the haircut that you've not planned for. Not just the haircut that you've planned for, but the haircut that you've not planned for, because you never know. You can turn up at a client's house, and then they have a friend there saying, "Oh look, can you do my hair as well?" And if you haven't got another appointment afterwards, then right there and then you can make some more money. So try to keep your setup diverse. Now, going into a client's environment, you have got to have a head torch. I learned this early on when I started going to people's houses or into their places of work. I didn't have a head torch and the lighting was terrible. So you've got to make sure you have good lighting, so always carry a head torch with you. You never know when it's going to be needed. I prefer using a head torch that uses LED bulbs just because it gives a brighter, whiter light, so you've got a good clear view of the canvas that you're working on. Then you've got your brushes. Some people call them fade brushes, but I always carry a couple of brushes with me, particularly for when you're doing like your skin fades and your short hairstyles. And then your brushes to clean off excess hair off the client, so always carry that with me. And then in here also have just a little screwdriver set up, just because sometimes you need to adjust your tools on the go. So I got this one from Maplin's. I believe it was about £10, and it's got a diverse range of different attachments that literally just kind of pop in and out. So if you want a flathead screwdriver or your Phillips screwdriver, you've got a variety of options, and it's just nice, small and compact, just in case I need to do any maintenance work while I'm out on the go. Okay, got my little cleaning brush so I can just clean off my clippers, as well, clean out the excess hair. Always give my clippers a brush before I cut a client's hair, and again afterwards. Then just my barbering cape. So I've got a customized barbering cape which has the razor sharp logo on it. I won't show you that now, that can be for another time. But this is a premium barber cape. Reason why it's classed as a premium barber cape, because it's also suitable for if you're going to be washing a client's hair or spraying down a client's hair. It's water repellent, so the client's clothes don't get wet, so that's a good investment there. Right, so sanitation is massive for me, so I always carry some Cool Care, or you may use Barbicide, whichever one you choose, but I always carry this with me, and I always make sure to brush out excess hair from the clippers before I cut a client's hair and spray them down, and then also do the same afterwards, just to make sure that the clippers are clean and the customer knows that I care about sanitation. And then scissors. Okay, so carry 3 scissors. So I've got a 6-inch, 5.5-inch scissor, and then this is a 7-inch as well. I use this particularly when I'm working on afro, whether it be like afro fades or higher cuts, and just going over at the end just to neaten up and take off any excess little strangly hairs. And then my 6 and 5.5 inches I use for when I'm doing scissor cuts for clients, whether they're having a skin fade and then they want a particular design on top. If I'm working on European hair and then I need to do scissor work, then I use those for that. Okay. And it's always good to have a good case for your scissors because you don't want them to get damaged. So I got this one from Tony and Guy online. It's £20 and it's really nice, well padded, keeps your equipment safe. Okay, just a few other little bits before we get into the hardware. So I use hair fibers. Not all clients want it, but I just like to have it in case that's a service that they do want, and it's something that you can charge more for. So I always carry it with me, and then also have spritz as well, just to hold the hair fibers in place. And I find this one Works really well, it's really strong. Okay, get into the hardware. A few things I'll just cover off before I show you what clippers, talk a bit about the clippers I carry with me. So firstly, always got to have your razor blades with your cutthroat. I particularly like using the Derby blades. Reason being is, as you can see, they're individually packed. I used to use the Wilson sword ones before, but you had to snap them and break them, and it's long. Whereas with the Derby blades, you get packs of 100. They're individually packed, so you can just take one out, put it in front of the client, so they know that you're always using a fresh blade with them for sanitation issues. And then after, you can just put it back in the wrapper and discard it, throw it in a bin or in a safe place. Foil shaver needed, especially in this skin fade culture. I always like to have foil shaver with me as well. And then to the clipper guard. So what I do, many of you have probably got this clipper guard holder from Wall. What I do is I just put an elastic band around them just to keep the clipper guards in place. If not, everything will fall out everywhere. So that's just a neat little trick and tip that you can use. And then I also have a couple of afro combs, always needed, clipper oil, and then I use a magic barber pencil, which is good just for outlining your shape up or your beard design that you're going to do with a client. So I like to use a magic pencil. I just find it's just portable, it's neat, rather than when I used to carry a little pot of talcum powder. Yeah, this does the job now. And with regards to the clipper guards, also I keep the 0.5 guard and the 1.5 guard as well. Now they don't all fit in the case, so in the clipper holder case, so I just carry those separately. Okay, and then what I have here is actually bay rum, which I diluted down. Initially it was the tea tree oil anti-bump spray, but once that was used up, I bought a big container of bay rum, and then I dilute that down with water so it doesn't sting too much when a client has it sprayed on their head. And another little thing I carry with me is I always carry hand moisturizer. This is one that I particularly like, the Body Shop hemp cream, which is really good for dry hands. I use this a lot if I didn't have gloves on, if I had to wash a client's hair, whatever the case may be. If I haven't got gloves on after the service is done, even if I do have gloves on, to be honest, my personal preference is I like to wash my hands. I'll take off my gloves, I like to wash my hands and then just re-moisturize again. So that's just a thing personal to me, but it's one that I recommend. And I always carry batteries as well for your head torch, so that I'm never without power for my head torch. Now down to the hardware. Okay, so before, when I first started barbering and I was using corded clippers, then I'd have a variety of corded clippers in here. Now we've got cordless clippers. I've gone to a cordless setup. So firstly, I'll show you my two clippers. So I use two Warm Magic Clip cordless. This one is one that I customized myself. So I gave it a nice little spray job. It's taken a bit of a battering now. I've had it quite a while. And then I just got this one more recently. But I use two cordless magic clips. And the reason why I carry two clippers is if you're going to be out mobile, I find with cordless clippers it's always good to have a backup. So if you're doing one client's hair, so for example, I have one customer I go to where I do his hair and then both of his sons. One cordless charge is not going to last for all of them, so I will start doing one haircut with one clipper. When that haircut's done, I'll then put one on charge and then go to the other one and then do his next son's haircut, and then I use that rotation method. So I certainly would recommend doing that, having two clippers. If you're especially if you're using cordless, have two clippers there. If you're using corded clippers, still carry two clippers anyway, just you never know what can happen. It's always safe to have a backup. And then also on top of that, I also carry with me the charger as well. I personally just carry one charger. I don't carry two because I don't think it's necessary, but that's down just to personal choice. So that's it for me. The two Magic Clip cordless is what I use. And then in terms of trimmers, once again, I carry two trimmers with me. So I've got the Andis Slimline Pro, and then I've got an Andy Slimline Pro Li, which I've customized as well, once again with a custom paint job. But also with my Slimline Pro Li, I've also done a customization on the blade after seeing Miami Barber on Instagram and saw how he put the T outliner blade on the Slimline Pro Li. I did that modification also myself, so I've got that on there, and that hits really hard when they're doing the shape up. And then the Slimline Pro Li as well, also fantastic clipper, hits really hard when a shape up. And I've actually used the 1 minute blade modifier by Chuka the Barber, so shout out to Chuka the Barber for that modification tool that you created, because it's fantastic. And so I carry 2 trimmers with me. Once again, I always want to make sure I'm not in a position where I cannot deliver a service, so having 2 trimmers out with me, make sure I have more than enough power to do all the cuts that I need to do on the go. And I will also carry the charging tool with me also. But also, as just a final backup when it comes to the shape up trimmer, I still carry a T outliner, original T outliner corded, just in case. I can get a little bit paranoid, so I want to make sure that I'm never in a situation where I can't deliver a haircut. So if my cordless trimmers were to run out of power, I still have this with me just in case, to be on the safe side. So guys, that's my setup. That's what I carry with me, and I find that with what I carry, it gives me a diverse enough setup that whatever service a client wants, I can deliver that. So hope you found this useful. Like, leave your comments, subscribe, and let me know what you guys use when you go out on your appointments. Also, one thing I haven't shown you here is I usually do have a hair dryer. It doesn't fit within this case, so I'll carry that separately as well. But I also carry a hair dryer with me because, yeah, if I'm washing a client's hair, then that's definitely going to be needed. But guys, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching this video. Bye bye.